My name is Kyla Burke. I'm a fifth year undergraduate environmental science and management student at UC Davis. We are here in our ninth day of the occupation of the Chancellor's office at UC Davis. We want her to be fired or to resign. There's a long history of problematic behavior from the Chancellor, and we think it's time for her to step down. The most recent scandal with Chancellor Katehi involves her moonlighting positions at three boards of private institutions that we find to be problematic. Firstly, there's her involvement with DeVry University. This position was against UC policy. She wasn't allowed to take this job. It wasn't approved. But beside that, DeVry University is being sued by the federal government for predatory practices with its students. So we stand in solidarity with them, and we think it was inappropriate for her to take that job. The second is her position on Wiley and Sons. That was approved, but that in itself is problematic and shows that there's corruption throughout the whole system. Wiley and Sons is a textbook corporation, and their profit comes at the expense of students. And so to take a position as the chancellor of a public institution and be on that board as well, we see as a conflict of interest, because making money for them harms students, and textbook costs are skyrocketing, and Wiley and Son textbook costs increased while she was there. And the third is with King Abdul Aziz University in Saudi Arabia. This university had a predatory recruiting strategy where they would essentially pay professors to put their names on their paper to improve the ranking of the university. So it went from a school no one had ever heard of to being ranked above MIT in math in 1 year. But these most recent scandals aren't the only reason we want Chancellor Katehi to be gone. There's a long history of corruption and problematic behavior from her. Personally, my freshman year was the pepper spray incident, and I thought she should have been fired then. And since then, I've watched a history of administration messing up, of them ignoring hate crimes, doing things that encourage Islamophobia on campus, and then these most recent scandals. So there's a long history of corruption and problems, and I don't think having her as chancellor is what's best for the university. But it's not just her. There's a lot of problems and changes in the university, so we want to change the system so that students and faculty can be more involved in the process and can hold administration accountable and make a more democratic environment.
My name is Juan Flores. I'm a history major. I'm part of the occupation here in Marac Hall to FIREKATEHI. Some of the difficulties that we face here in the occupation is the facility staff has been threatened by administration to be fired if they participate in some form with the occupation itself. They've literally closed the doors in downstairs, so it makes harder the accessibility to the building. So we have to have people coming up and down to open up the doors. They shut down the elevators for a brief moment, and that's problematic given that a lot of people need the elevator due to physical reasons. They know that we use the internet a lot. That's one of the main tools that we use, and they've deactivated the signal. No one can connect, so we've had a third party coming and setting up a hotspot. Basically that, we're restricted. We're not allowed to go to other floors. We're staying strong, and we just hope that this is this has resonance in the administration and the UC system, Napolitano, that we have to be involved in the process of election of who's going to be taking decisions for us, and also a form of the institution of UCs to keep an eye on the presidents, not to be complacent in their selection, just because is definitely, we can see the interest that or the fluidity of interest that goes from top to bottom. We're trying to promote with choke around campus. We're writing with choke, and the facilities have been told that first thing in the morning, this is around 7, even before 7, 6:30 a.m. they need to erase all the chalk that is in the walls and in the floor, meaning that chalk is not going to affect the university. This is just an expression, a form of expression. We're really careful not to damage any property. Yet the administration focuses on diminishing our objectives. All this problem came about at a really pivotal time. We are still currently working on finals. You know, the administration knows that. We're also before, like, this is already spring break for some people, so some of the occupiers, you know, have already left back home, and that's difficult for us. However, we understand the importance of being here. We cooperate, we have a lot of communication within each other, and we're just trying to be as efficient with the amount of people that we have. But nevertheless, it's important to highlight that this is a huge distraction. You know, you're not performing to the full of your abilities if you're worrying about the corruption of the administration at this point. There are several universities that are currently having problems. San Francisco State University are having problems with their ethnic studies. Cal State LA is also trying to push for the resignation of their president, given that they're trying to cut back ethnic studies. We're here, you know, protesting for the corruption that our president has. We hope that we can connect, that we can get support from all universities and educational institutions around the country. So this is an example of not us, but all of us fighting and trying to build a network of solidarity and intersectionality, because this is a threat for the education itself, and we need to gain our education back